Why is it so critically important for us to pursue our goals, dreams, and ambitions, regardless of whatever phase of life we may be in right now? Hi, my name is Leah Chantel. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm talking about why it's so important for us to pursue our goals, dreams, and ambitions, regardless of whatever phase of life we may be in currently. The reason why it's so critical is because we don't show up to our roles and responsibilities as fully as we could when we don't look after our true passion or our true goals, dreams, and ambitions, and we lose parts of who we are. So some people will advise that we should look after the money rather than look after our passion in life. And sure, it's good to be a responsible provider for your family. It's good to look for the things that pay money and spend time on those things because they do offer value to you and your family, especially when you're in the role of parent and you need to provide for a child. There's nothing wrong with that. In the same way, there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home parent and taking care of the family that way. Maybe you're in that role, and that can also be just as critically important, if not more so, than being the financial provider for the family. Having said that, when we only show up to these roles and we forget who we truly are as a person, what our passions are, then we don't show up as effectively in the roles where we need to show up as we could when we're in full embodiment of our true selves. And that's why we should never, ever give up on our dreams or our goals, dreams, and ambitions. Now, sometimes those goals, dreams, and ambitions do evolve throughout our life. So maybe it was our dream as a child that we wanted to become an actress or an actor. And then later we decide we want to become a business person or an author or a leader in our workplace. So it's okay for those dreams to evolve and to change, but we want to make sure that we're connecting with our authentic self and that we're following a dream that is really true to who we are and not just something prescribed to us by someone else that we're doing to get approval. So one of the biggest arguments that people make to abandon their goals and dreams and ambitions is they say that they're too old. And so I'd like to dismantle that belief right now by explaining the reason why we have these beliefs that we're too old to do something is that it comes from the media. It comes from television and movies and social media. And all of these things celebrate youth. And that happens in a lot of cultures too, not just in my culture, but in Asia and Africa and all over the world. And why is it that our media culture is so obsessed with youth? Well, think about it. They're usually the ones who spend the most money, right? They're the ones trying to be fashionable or keeping up to date on the media or trying to fit in with their friends. And in the process of doing that, because they feel so compelled by the youth culture to fit in, they tend to spend the most money or their parents' money in the process. And so that's why the media goes after them. They will show them in a flattering light. They will show them as being successful, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, of course, I want to see our youth succeed and do well in life. That's amazing if they find their success early in life. Having said that, it can send kind of an unconscious message to people who are a bit more mature that your time has passed, that you can't have a happy, healthy, romantic relationship, or you can't have success in your career or start that business because you've got too much responsibility and you're too old. And it's true, the more responsibilities we take on in life, if we have children and a mortgage, it does get tougher because we have to take into account those things when we are trying to go for our goals, dreams, and ambitions. We have to be a bit more safe. We can't do things necessarily that waste the family's money and puts the home into bankruptcy. You know what I mean? Like, those kinds of reckless decisions can be very bad for the family. Having said that, when we see those things, sometimes unconsciously we get the message, it's like, I can't do anything for my passion or my goals and dreams and ambitions. And you can pursue them in a very practical, very financially stable way that doesn't cost the family money. But usually what it requires is a bit of time and effort on your part. You have to clear a bit of your schedule in order for you to make time for those things that you're passionate about. And let's say, for example, you've got an amazing financial career set already. You're making a lot of money and you're supporting people, but you're very busy. you definitely want to make time for those things that you're passionate about, because your passion will blend back into your practical business or your way of making money, and it will probably enhance the way that you're making money and allow you to show up as more authentic and more valuable in your team. And that's the same with when you're raising children. You might think, oh, it's taking too much time away from my children, I won't be able to take care of them. But actually, when you show up as your best authentic self, your children notice and they actually respect you more, because they see that you have boundaries and that you're taking time for yourself, and they can't just come bug you for whatever need that they have 24/7. They have to think about it in advance and set time aside when you're available in order to come to you with their challenges. And that's actually a good lesson for children to learn, that they can't just come to adults whenever they feel like it in order to have a problem solved. It's good for children to learn how to solve problems on their own rather than try to get everything taken to an adult to be handled. Although some issues, it is better to take it to an adult, like when there's another predator around or something like that. Some things really do need to appropriately go to an adult urgently. Having said that, we think that everything becomes urgent and important sometimes, because some things are, and we don't assess correctly when we could be taking time for ourselves and for our passion and for our own values rather than being available 24/7. And so that's a very important lesson to learn as an adult. It's okay to have boundaries, even if you are a mom. Maybe you went through a phase where your child really did need you 24/7 because they were a newborn, but you kind of get into that habit of being available 24/7, and the child is actually becoming more independent, and you could leave them to do their own thing more often. Often as parents, we get very attached and we want to constantly be there, but really the children don't really need us that much. Even when they get to be about 6 to 8 years old, they start having some adult decision-making skills that they can exercise on their own, although they're still children. And so we can trust them more than we think. Maybe we can't trust them to use a knife in the kitchen and burn themselves on the stove or something, but we can trust them in smaller decisions. And when we allow them to make them independently, they actually gain confidence. They gain self-esteem in the world. And then we get more time back for ourselves to work on the goals, dreams, and ambitions that are important to us. So don't pay attention to any media messages, or even sometimes it comes from churches or workplaces, that we have to sacrifice all our time to our family or to our workplace. And that's just a myth. It's just not true. And we have to remember that we need time for ourselves to connect to our passions, whether it happens to be a painting class that you really enjoy, or it's a book that you really love to read, or a bubble bath, or a meditation practice, or an exercise and fitness practice. All of these things add value to your life. They're not a waste of time. And when they're scheduled appropriately and you set boundaries for them appropriately, they can really add value into your life and allow you to show up in a happier, healthier mood as an adult, as a parent. Think about it. If you've been doing the thing that you love, even for like 1 hour out of that day, what does that do to the rest of your day? Well, even when you go do the things that you don't particularly feel like doing, you're going to be in a better mood because you are doing things that you really love to do. And when you show up with a happy attitude, people around you respond differently. You're going to get different opportunities from other people that you never would have thought about consciously when you're showing up with a lot of happiness and health and positive attitude. In fact, it's the secret sauce of life. If you're trying to earn more money or manifest something new in your life, your positive attitude is actually what's going to help you get that new thing into your life. But the reverse engineering of it, going back to the beginning, how do you get into that happy, healthy, positive mood? I mean, yes, telling yourself positive things can be helpful. Affirmations can be helpful, but it can also feel kind of fake if it's not backed up with action. And that's why you want to do actions that take good care of yourself and really enhance your day and make you happy, so that when you show up to do the things that you need to do, you're going to be happier, you're going to be more engaged, you're going to want to be there. And we all have different times in our lives when we bloom. Like, some of my favorite influencers and people that I look up to are in their 50s and 60s, and they're killing it on social media at that age. And sometimes they're a little bit younger, but it's not always about youth. It's not always about being 20 years old and being the most attractive person on TV. You know, there are people with a lot of wrinkles who are really inspiring, who I really look up to, and yeah, they'd probably kill it in a lot of areas of their life, not just in their social media presence. So don't think that you're just like a dried up old napkin because you're not 20 years old anymore. You know what I mean? We all have the capacity to be alive and to do meaningful things in our lives and to be sexy and juicy as human beings. Like, our lives don't end at age 20, you know? There's so much room for us to grow and to have meaningful lives and to do the things we've always wanted to do at any phase of our life. But we have to be courageous. We have to set aside time in order to do the things that we've always wanted to do and just go for it. If we give up, then we're basically dead. You know what I mean? We're just living lives day to day mechanically. And sadly, for a lot of people, they really are dead. Like, they're not giving their time and attention to things they really care about. And it only takes a little bit of time. Even if you've only got 15 minutes, spend 15 minutes a day doing something you love and see how your life changes. I promise you, it's going to change for the better. So if you have any comments on the things that you love to do that help you feel really passionate in life, put them down below. And also keep in mind that things that light you up and make you feel passionate could be very different from what someone else in your family is passionate about. And so we don't want to judge other people's passions, even if according to our value system, it seems like a waste of time and energy. Never judge. Like, let people enjoy the things that they like to enjoy and give them space to do it, because you never know. That could be how they recharge and show up loving towards you later on in the day. So I hope you're all having an amazing week. If you like this video, definitely hit subscribe and click like on the video. And I can't wait to see you next week. Take care. Bye now.